Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am so happy to be with you guys again for our Tuesday takeover here on Black and Married with Kids. My name is Ariel Fuller, and I'm so excited to be here. I am from the company called Dunamis Women Enterprise, where we are a movement where we guide women to dig deeper in their faith and draw closer to the power of God through spiritual mentorship, prayer, and coaching. And so I am so happy to be with you guys here tonight. If you are a single woman on the Black and Married with Kids family, if you are struggling with this topic of lust and sexuality, especially as a single woman, please comment below. Let me know where you're from. Tune in tonight. Get a pen and paper because you're probably going to take some notes. And share this with someone because there's a lot that we're going to cover. And I want to thank Lamar and Ronnie for having us on here, or having me on here tonight to talk to the singles. Now, last week, you guys saw my mom and I talking to you guys. She will not be joining me tonight, so I'm going to take over this major topic by myself. But that's okay. Good evening, Dion. How are you? Thank you guys for commenting. Let me know where you're from, your city, your state, because we're going to be having a conversation tonight when it comes to dealing with lust and sexuality as a single woman. So I definitely need you all's conversation. I need you guys to be commenting, giving me some hearts and some likes. So hey, Michelle from Chicago, thank you for joining in. And please share this. If you know that you have women in your network that are single, please share this topic, because how to overcome 3 strategies to overcome lust and sexuality and dealing with lust and sexuality. Let's just talk about that topic. It's not easy for people to admit. Hi, I'm from Wilmington, Florida. Most people do not say that I'm struggling with lust and sexuality. And even though I am a single woman and I'm 28 years old and I really focus on my peers and the younger generation, I know that some of you all are going to be older than me tonight, and I want you to eliminate age, first off, because I get so many people who ask me, Ariel, I'm really struggling with my lust and my sexual desires as a single woman, and I do not know what to do. And it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter if you've been divorced, if you've been married. Sex is sex. Lust is lust. Sexuality is sexuality. All right? So the topics and the things that you guys are going to, the topic that we have tonight and the nuggets that you're going to get tonight are all universal. And I'm saying this for you to share this because most women will not openly say, I want to be able to practice a life of abstinence, and I want to be able to deal with lust and sexuality within my single walk, because I don't want to just get married off of my lustful desires, all right? And that's the wrong reason for us to enter into a marriage. So if you are tuning in, like I said, share this with someone, comment below where you're from, and we're going to get into this. However, I want to start off with this quote that my mom posted today on her Facebook page, which is going to set the tone for what we're going to talk about tonight when I give you guys the 3 strategies. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of background about myself when it comes to this topic as well. So this is a quote that she said earlier. She said, a man or a woman's touch can lead to a damaged soul, but a touch from Jesus can make you whole. Now, I want to repeat this again very slowly. A man or a woman's touch can lead to a damaged soul, but a touch from Jesus can make you whole. When we're talking about lust and sexuality, all we're going to be talking about tonight is your soul. And this is what we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks when you've been on here, when I explained to you all that your soul is your mind plus your emotions, which equals your will, your behavior. Your mind, which is how you think, your emotions, which is how you feel, and your will is your do. It's your behavior. It's the things that you do. And oftentimes, as women, when it comes to lust and sexuality, these are things that are within our soul. And I really want you all to understand this tonight, because regardless of whatever your desires are, you as a woman, as a single woman, have to learn how to govern your soul. Now, as women, we love to be loved. We have desires. We know that God created sex, and sex is amazing. However, what I've learned is that sex is not good if you're having it with the wrong person. Because I had to get in the standpoint of understanding that sex with a damaged soul is only going to damage my soul. And if I don't want that, I got to be very mindful. Orgasm or things like that are not worth it if I'm transferring damages with the soul that I'm sleeping with. All right? And so tonight we are going to focus on the soul aspect, but also giving you 3 strategies of how to overcome lust and sexuality. Yes, give me some likes if you're just now joining in. Comment below and tell me where you're from. And please share this. Like I said, my name is Ariel Fuller, and I'm from our company, Dunamis Women Enterprise, where we are a movement where we guide women of faith through spiritual mentorship, prayer, and coaching on how to tap into the emotional healing and power of God so they can transform their life and relationships. And so this topic tonight, I had a lot of single women come to me and ask me about how to overcome lust and sexuality. So before I get into the 3 strategies, I want to tell you a little bit of background about myself with my journey of lust and sexuality, even though I'm young. I've been abstinent for 5 years. And I've been practicing abstinence for 5 years. However, I'm not that type of person where I came and I said, you know what, I want to be abstinent because my body is a temple and it's holy for God. I'm be honest, that wasn't it, all right? I just didn't have no potentials. I had nobody that I could probably do anything with. However, my journey first started because when I was in college and when I was young, I was giving my body away to so many different people as my single walk. And right before I graduated, to make a long story short, I got baptized. And again, for the second time, but a choice that I made. And the day before I got baptized, I actually was with a soul tie. Someone with that, you know what a soul tie is when you basically continue to have sex with him and you're just mixing your soul with this person, but y'all have no connection further. So I was really entertaining this soul tie. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to enter into this after graduation. And so I remember that night I got up. I had, my last encounter with the soul tie, and I got baptized the day after graduation. And from that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to give my body to anybody who is not for me. And I don't know if I made that choice so deciding like I want to have an abstinence journey, but I just knew that sex was overrated if it wasn't with the person that I need to necessarily be with. That was just me. And I was done with it. I was tired with it. And so when I came home, my abstinence journey just became just started. And then that first year, it was just, there was no one else that, I didn't have any potentials. There was no one to sleep with. And then by year 2, I was like, I'm abstinent for year 2, so I might as well keep on going. And then year 3 came, and then year 4 came, and all those different things. However, as single women, we want to try to practice abstinence to be perfect. And I want you to understand that abstinence is not for you to be perfect, but it's for you to protect your asset. We aren't abstinence because we want to just say, I'm perfect and I'm just perfect for God and I have a perfect body that can't be untouched. No. You're abstinent because you know that you are an asset and you're protecting that asset and you're protecting your soul so you don't be intertwined with anything else that is not good for you. Because a lot of women, we need emotional healing because we have gotten our souls intertwined with other people and we have allowed our thoughts of lust and sexuality to filtrate us and to overcome us, and then we end up being in a bed with somebody that we don't need to be with, and then we wonder why we're crying on the floor and we're depressed because we're still single. And this is just the natural things that happen. And so you got to know that you are an asset. Your body is an asset. We're going to be discreet on here. Your vagina is an asset. And I talk to my teens about this all the time, and they say, ooh, really? Your body. I love when my mom broke down one day when she said, literally, a woman's vagina is worship. And when a man, a husband, comes home, men need sex. Women, we need emotion. We need to feel love. We need to feel good. However, the worst thing that can mess up a man's mind is that when he knows that a woman has given her body away to another man. And oftentimes we say, men, y'all just give your bodies away and that's nasty too. But it really messes up with a man's mind to know that a woman gave her body to another man. Because women, what we have is so amazing. And when a man is able to enter into that, that is his release. That is his worship. That is his place, his safe haven to feel love and comfort. And we cannot give that to just any man who is not deserving of that. You have to know that every aspect of you in your body is an asset. And so lose focus on the lust and the sexuality and the desires, because I know as women we get focused on that stuff, but start knowing that even when you have those desires, that my body is something that only one person that I'm saving can be able to enter into. And I got to protect that because I don't want him entering to things of bad soul ties that I haven't let go. I don't want him entering to things of relationships that I haven't been able to get rid of. I don't want him entering to all these damaged emotions that I haven't dealt with in my life because I'm so focused on fulfilling my lustful, my sexual desires. We got to work on this. And I'm going to give you 3 strategies on how to overcome this right now. So if you get a pen and a paper, I want you to focus and write this down. Thank you, Janice, for chiming in. Thank you guys so much. Anyone else that's just now joining, we're going to have 3 strategies to overcome lust and sexuality. Comment your city and state below so I know where you're from. And please share this. And I want to thank Lamar and Ronnie for having me on this platform to talk to the single women about this. I know it may be a little bit real, but look, I don't hold nothing back, y'all, because we're dealing with this. And there's no time for us to sugarcoat and to hold things back when it comes to this topic. And if you connect with us at Dunamis Woman, you know we keep it real. Because God created all of this. So ain't no need for us to be able to be like, ooh, maybe we can't talk about this or deal with lust and sexuality, all right? So here's the one strategy for overcoming and dealing with lust and sexuality that I want you to be mindful of. One, if you are saying that you want to have an abstinence journey, thank you for Dallas, Texas. And let me know below if this is something that you are practicing, that you want to be abstinent or you want to deal with this. But the first thing that I'm going to tell you all is really, you have to deal with lust and sexuality. The first thing that you need to do is you need to know your why. All right? You need to know why do you not want to enter into a sexual relationship and just let it be about sex? Because there are some women out there who just want sex. That's it. And they become so numb to their emotions. They say, I just want to get it in and have my sex and get out. However, it's more to that. And if you want to be a woman, hi Latanya, thank you for tuning in. If you want to be a woman that understands your power and that you want to be that woman for the great man that's in your life, you got to stop changing your mindset. And so when you choose to preserve yourself, when you choose to say, I want to deal with this lust and sexuality desires, you're choosing to walk a level of abstinence and wait. That's what you're choosing to do. And so although we have these desires that come up, you have to know your why and also know your body, all right? Because naturally as women, around a certain peak of time before the cycle comes, we get horny anyway. So just know that that's your season of when you definitely think that you want to be around somebody, all right? So know your why. Like for me, I was tired. I was tired of giving my body away to a man that wasn't going to love me. I was tired of giving my body away to a man that wasn't going to say that, Ariel, you're worthy of being a wife, or you're even worthy of going out on a date, or you're even worthy of me even taking you out in public. I was tired of being the hidden secret. So my why was like, I'm not going to sit up here and continue to keep crying and be tired of the things because a woman can't love me the way that I desire to be loved. And also, I wanted to be pursued. I want to be pursued by the person. I didn't want to just have pleasure by the person. I wanted a man to look at me and to say, you know what? I want to pursue you. That whatever it is that's on the inside of you, whatever it is that I can trust you and I know that I can be with you, I want to pursue you. And when you focus on the lust and sexuality, you're just looking at the pleasure. And you're losing the pursuit. You're taking away your power for a man to see you and to say, I want to chase after you. Because as women, no matter if you're a virgin or not, men still love to chase. And if he never had you, he's still going to do all that he can if he really wants you to pursue you to be able to chase you. And women, we got to stop letting men not chase us. Instead, we chasing them because we focus on the pleasure. And men love the chase. You can ask any man. He loves the chase. And so for me, I said, I want to be pursued as a woman. I don't want to just focus on the pleasure because I get up and I get the pleasure, but then I'm back into a state of mind where I'm depressed and I'm feeling bad and I'm all the way back to cycle 1 where I first started. So what good is the pleasure is it going to give you if it's only temporary? And as women, we have to stop pacifying the pleasure and we need to take it out and deal with the real issue of what it is that we want to fulfill these lustful desires. It's just like a baby. A baby, you just keep putting the pacifier in their mouth because you want them to stop crying. As adults and as women, we use sex as a pacifier to get the pleasure that we need because we don't want to take it out and really deal with the situation of why we want these lustful desires. It's time to take out the pacifier. We're not babies anymore. Know that you are a woman, if no one has told you, that you can be pursued. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to wean yourself off and be able to do something different. And I'm going to tell you all what those different things are. Because sex is not intimacy. And when you're having sex out of lustful desires, you're losing the fact of being able to have intimacy. Because love and lust are two totally separate things. When you have sex, you're just focusing on lust. but you're losing the intimacy. There were so many times that I laid with a man who just had sex and he did not love me and was not intimate with who I was as a woman. And it took the man that I lost my virginity to say to me and speak to me. He said, Ariel, at some point you got to stop this. Because I noticed that you're laying with people who are not loving you. You're laying with someone who's not holding you at night. You're laying with someone who doesn't understand your mind, and he doesn't even understand the power of who you are. And this is a man that I lost my virginity to, had to speak that life back into me. Because I was using sex and lust, and I was losing focus on the intimacy. I lost value in who I was as a woman. And so when you get so focused on lust, you're going to lose love. You're going to lose the intimacy in how God really wants you, because he created sex to be able to be intimate. He created sex so that you can come together with one and you can worship him in your sex, because you are you're in a bed of a woman and a husband to be able to bring worship back unto him. And even when we worship God, it's a level of intimacy. We're naked and unashamed, and we're saying, God, you're seeing all of me. You're seeing every single aspect of me. And when a man is with you, he's supposed to see all of the aspects of you the way that God sees you, because when you're with him as his woman, as his wife, he's bringing worship and glory back unto God. And oftentimes we look at lust and we just think about it as just a sexual desire, and we act like animals and just sleep with each other, and we fail to realize how we're disappointing our Father who's even watching us. And I want you to understand, because I meet so many women who say, well, I'm ashamed and I'm insecure and I like to cover up my body, but then they still want to have sex. No, sex is for you to be naked and unashamed. I'm a lawyer. Yeah, I used to want to be a lawyer. Thank you for that comment. But this is the truth, you all. It really is. And like I said, eliminate the age factor, because this has nothing to do with age. This is all about our mindsets and where we are at lust. So one, you have to know your why. The first strategy you have to know, these messages we get in these days, women should be able to sleep with as many people as possible. You're right. And people have goals to sleep with as many women as you possibly can, but what is that going to gain you? So you have to know your why. Why am I going to focus on losing these thoughts of lust and sexuality? Why am I going to walk a level of abstinence? Why am I going to be able to be disciplined to focus on this? No matter how long I'm going to be single, why am I so fortified that I'm not going to give my body to just anybody and I'm going to protect my asset? Because if you don't know your why, you're going to slip up. All right? It's inevitable that it's going to happen. You're going to slip up and you're going to mess up, and it's going to put you back into a level of depression. And you have to be able to know your why and be strong in that, all right? So know your why. That's the one strategy that I want to give you when it says dealing with your lust and sexuality. But two, you got to know your weakness, all right? As women, we know our weakness. I'm a Libra, y'all, so I'm easily flirtatious. I can look at a guy and be like, ooh, yeah, man, he is the most sexiest thing, and I know my weakness. All right, I know what tempts me. And the devil is going to constantly want to tempt you, because if he could keep your soul to be damaged and he could keep you in a state where you can feel even more depressed, you're going to fall into those temptations. So know your weakness. Are you easily seduced? Are you a flirtatious woman? Are you even weak when it comes to masturbation? Because you can fulfill lust and sexuality by masturbating and never even having a man. But if you know that weakness for you and you're masturbating and then you get up and you feel bad about it, then that's your weakness. Some women masturbate and they don't feel nothing wrong with it at all. But if you masturbate and you know and you say, I don't like the fact that I just did that, that's one of your weaknesses. Now, we're not going to go in the category of masturbation is wrong or right. I'm not going to talk about it tonight. But what I will say is that when you enter into lust, when you enter into sexuality, when you enter into masturbation, it takes your mind to a whole nother level of distortion of where it shouldn't be. Because like I said, true sex and true intimacy between a man and a woman is supposed to glorify and bring worship unto God. Now, as women, we slip up. It's inevitable. But no matter what it is, no matter what the temptation, is it truly putting yourself in the mindset of fulfilling that lust? Because if you get so stuck in masturbation, you just continue to fulfill your lustful desires, whether you got a man or not. And women think this when I said your abstinence journey, you're not abstinent to be perfect, you're abstinent to protect your asset, because a lot of women are abstinent, but then they still masturbating all the time, and you might as well just go ahead and get a man. I'm just being honest. And I'm telling you all this from example. So if you're going to not even Dealing with lust is dealing with all lustful desires, not just being in the bed with a man. You're dealing with all the things that cause lust within your mind. And you got to pull down these strongholds. And that's what I want you guys to connect with us on our page for Doing With Some Enterprise, because we're about to do a challenge called Demolishing the Strongholds. And this is a stronghold. There are people who battle with a stronghold with lust and sexuality, and they got to pull these things down. So anything that causes you to get into that state that says that I want to fulfill these desires, you got to know your weakness. Because in that moment when you feel weak is that moment that you got to replace that with something else. You better go get up and read a book. You better go cook something. You better turn on some worship music. Whatever it is to get your mind in distraction, you better do it. Know that weakness is the way that the devil is going to continue to keep tempting you. That man that keeps calling you, keep texting you, and you already had that sex with him, and he wants to keep coming back to feed that soul tie. You better know your weakness. Because if you want to get rid of this soul tie, if you want the great man that God has for you, if you want the husband that God's going to send for you, you got to clean house, ladies. We tell men to clean house all the time, but we don't clean house. And you got to clean house. Because even if you are fulfilling all your desires, drinking a tall glass of water. Yeah, Renee, I told you all this is going to be a little bit heavy tonight, but I really want you all to understand this, because if we don't even deal with our lustful desires and we get so fixated as women to pleasing all of our needs, then we get into a relationship with man and we say, well, I could do better by myself by masturbating. You can't do nothing to please me. Because you already done learned how to please yourself in all types of ways. And that's not what we desire. Whether you're single, whether you've been married before, whether you have never been married before, that man has the opportunity and the privilege of getting to know you and your body. And you take that away from him if you get so caught up in lust. You take that privilege away from that man if you get so caught up in fulfilling your own desires. And that's what lust does. Lust takes and love gives. Lust takes and love gives. So if you get so frustrated, if you get so focused in lust, all you're doing is taking and taking and taking. You're using that man for your pleasure. You're using that masturbation for your pleasure. You're using all the lustful desires that come in your head for your own pleasure, and you're taking and you're not loving yourself and giving yourself the things that you need. Even though it's going to hurt, love is a sacrifice. So even though you are dealing with lust and you're being horny and you want to sleep with that man, you're saying, you know what, by loving myself, by sacrificing these desires, I'm going to give myself all the things that I'm worthy of, even if I don't see it right now. When I have to fight these lustful desires, I'm like, future husband, I'm giving you all of me, even though I don't see you right now. I'm fighting this thing right now so that when he comes, I'm able to be pure of mind. It's a fight, y'all. And you're going to have to start learning how to pull down those strongholds. So number one was know your why. And number two, you have to know your weakness. And I also talked about knowing your worth. And this is definitely huge for you. But you have to know your worth, because we all fall short, you all. We all fall short. And we all get into relationships where sometimes we think he's the one, so why not sleep with him now? Because, you know, he's going to be my husband one day anyway. So when you have to know your worth, just know your worth, that when you slip up, ladies, because it's going to happen, don't get down upon yourself. Because in one of my seasons for being abstinent for 5 years, I broke that. I broke it. I'm going to be honest with you all. And I said, God, why did I break this? What did I do? Why did I get so tempted to break in my abstinence journey? And I know, y'all, we want to have this amazing story. Oh, Ari, you've been abstinent for 5 years and you're so perfect and I would love to be like you. That's not how life works. Yes, I'm going to share this on my page. I'm so busy talking, y'all, I forgot to share it on my page. But that's not how life works. Life is not a perfect fairy tale. I mean, so when I slipped up, I had to know what my worth was. And I had to know it's all right. I ain't going to do it again, but it's all right. And if I do it again, it's okay. If you want to share, you could share down at the bottom, or I think you swipe left or right or something, you could share that. But know your worth and know that it's okay even if you slip up, and even if he isn't the one, all right? No, if he is the one for single women, know that he can wait. He can wait. If he is the one that's in your life and he's the one that God has for you, he can wait. He's going to get it anyway if he's the one. So don't feel into this pressure of, oh, well, we already doing good and we got this good relationship going on, so we might as well just get it in now. No, he can wait. You can wait for great and he can wait for great too. Because know that what you have is great. Don't sleep on your power, ladies, because there is power down below. And what you have is great. And he can wait for that. All right? So know your worth and know that someone can wait. And also, I don't know if you all struggle with this as in your age, but you can tell someone up front about your journey. If you want to fulfill an abstinence journey, or if you want to start dealing with the lustful desires, you can tell someone when you're dating them early on that this is something that you don't just do it all willy-nilly like in the middle of dinner or something like that. But you can say, you know what, I really as a woman really want to be able to walk this journey where I'm valuing who I am as a woman and who I'm giving my body to. And can you respect that? You don't have to be like, I ain't just going to give you none tonight because you won't even earn it. No. Just say, can you respect that? And it's a yes or no answer. Can you respect the standard that I set for myself? Because it is a standard, ladies. It's not something like you're just doing perfect. It's a standard that you're setting for your life. And you could say that very clearly and ask if he respects that. And it's very open and honest. And if you choose to be able to overstep those standards, then know that do not feel bad or do not slip up in diminishing your worth as a woman because of what happened, all right? So when it comes to dealing with this, it's so much. But I want you all to get a copy of my mom's book called Great Man, Where Art Thou? The Silent Cry of a Woman's Heart. We will ship it to you all for free. Because this is a book, if you are a single woman, that you will be able to understand not only where great men are, but the mindset of how great men think and positioning yourself as a great woman. Because everything I'm teaching you tonight is to say that I'm going to position myself as a great woman. I'm no longer going to settle for good, but I'm going to wait for great in my life. And you all can be able to read this book, to be able to focus on the healing aspect of why you have these soul ties, why you're dealing with lust and sexuality. And I really want you to connect with us on our page at Dunamis Women Enterprise. And I thank Lamar and Ronnie for having me on here, because we will be talking about this in a couple weeks coming up of how to deal with the stronghold of the mind, because I can't cover this. So you can go purchase the book at bit.ly/ The Great Man Book. I'll put it in the comments below, and we will ship it to you all for free. And I want you to definitely get a copy of that book. And we did a series versus Good Man versus Great Man, which is an online teaching, and you all will get access to that as well when you go to that page, and you could get the book and the teaching together. It's an online course that you guys can be able to watch. And we had amazing great men speak to the hearts of women and help them deal with these things that are going on within their lives, and being able to help them heal from their past and their pain and the divorce and the broken relationships and the soul ties and the depression that we feel as women when we aren't worthy and when we don't understand our worth and our power, because the relationships have damaged us so much. And this book, if you just want to get the book, you can go to that link and get the book. If you want to get the online course, you can get access to the online course as well, and get access to both of those to be able to fulfill you so that you can continue, because this is a continual journey. And I want you to join our network and our movement, because as women, we need accountability partners. I cannot go through this journey, you all, by myself. I needed my mom to be able to teach me these things. I needed someone to be able to say, Ariel, you can continue to keep fighting. Know your worth. Know that you don't have to get in. I was able to have someone of wisdom to see the signs so that I didn't get into relationships and in the bed with men that weren't really for me. I had women who were almost as wise as a dove, who were able to understand the spiritual things that I was going through and the temptations that the devil was trying to bring me. So join our network of women, you all, because even though I'm young, my mom is over 50-something years old. I'm 28. We got women of all ages within our network on our Mighty Christian Women Facebook group who are able to hold you accountable in this, all right? So I thank you all for watching so very much. I thank you, Lamar and Ronnie, for having me on here and having Dunamis Women Enterprise on here. And if you are a woman of faith, please connect with us as we guide you to dig deeper in your faith through spiritual mentorship, prayer, and coaching, so that you can experience the healing power of God, so that you can transform your life and relationships. And I couldn't do any of this without the healing power of God, you all. So I love you guys so very much. I pray that you all got something out of this and that you share this. Thank you so much for all the hearts and the likes. And lust and sexuality will not overpower you, but you will overtake take this stronghold and these desires, because God has something great for you on the other side. So I thank you guys so very much, and have a good night. See you all next Tuesday for our Tuesday takeover. All right? Have a good one.